Stoicism, become undefeatable. Imagine waking up one day and finding that everything you have built in your life suddenly disappears in an instant. How would you feel? What would it be like if everything you've worked for, every effort, every plan, was suddenly swept away by the forces of nature beyond your control? You might feel angry, helpless, or even devastated. But one man who experienced exactly this reacted in a completely different way. His name was Zeno, the father of Stoicism. You might think losing all your wealth in a single disaster is an event that cannot be accepted. But what did Zeno do when faced with this situation? He didn't wallow in despair or blame anyone. Instead, he embraced an approach that we now call Stoicism, a philosophy of life that teaches us not to be defeated by challenges beyond our control. Could you learn to respond the way Zeno did to hardship? The answer to that question could change the way you see life and the difficulties you face. Imagine you are Zeno. Your entire life's work, everything you've spent years building, is wiped out in an instant by something completely beyond your control. How would you react? Most people would be overcome with anger, frustration, or even deep sadness. After all, it's only natural to feel betrayed by fate when life takes away what you've worked so hard to achieve. But not Zeno. In the face of such misfortune, Zeno didn't fall into despair. Instead, he found an opportunity for reflection. His response wasn't to resist the circumstances or get lost in feelings of helplessness. Rather, he chose to embrace a radical shift in perspective, one that would form the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Zeno understood something profound that most of us often miss. Our external circumstances don't determine our emotional state, our response to those circumstances does. This is the core of Stoicism, the power to control how we react to life's events, even when we cannot control the events themselves. Zeno's reaction wasn't to complain about the unfairness of life or drown in self-pity. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his own mind and his ability to maintain composure despite external chaos. This moment of reflection became the foundation of a way of life that has lasted thousands of years, providing a timeless tool for anyone seeking peace of mind amidst life's inevitable struggles. In Stoicism, the true challenge isn't avoiding hardship, it's how we choose to respond to it. What exactly is Stoicism? Is it just about remaining emotionally indifferent to the challenges we face like some people mistakenly believe? It's much more than that. Stoicism is a way of life, a lens through which we can view the world, process our emotions, and ultimately take control of how we react to life's ups and downs. Zeno's teachings, inspired by great philosophers like Socrates, were centered on a profound principle. While we may not control what happens to us, we always control how we respond. This simple yet powerful distinction is at the heart of Stoicism. We cannot prevent misfortunes, losses, or tragedies from occurring, but we can choose to accept them with grace and poise, or we can let them consume us with anger, anxiety, or fear. This shift in mindset has the potential to transform our lives. Imagine, instead of being swept away by every wave of emotion, you remain anchored, grounded in the understanding that nothing external has the power to disturb your peace unless you allow it. Zeno didn't cry over his lost cargo, and he didn't become bitter. He saw his misfortune as an opportunity to practice what he preached, to remain calm and neutral, unaffected by forces outside his control. In a world that constantly pushes us to react emotionally to every little inconvenience, Stoicism offers a refreshing alternative. Not to suppress emotions, but to control them, to see them as temporary and within our power to influence. Stoicism teaches that true freedom doesn't come from the ability to control the world around us, but from mastering how we respond to it. Stoicism isn't just a set of teachings for a select few, it's a philosophy that transcends time and place, offering profound wisdom that is as relevant today as it was in ancient Greece. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its universality. Whether you are a slave, a king, or anyone in between, Stoic principles offer a way to navigate life's turbulence with purpose and inner peace. For Zeno and the early Stoics, their philosophy wasn't just a theory, it was a practice, one that could be applied to every aspect of life. It wasn't reserved for philosophers sitting in ivory towers or secluded in academic halls. The Stoics taught that anyone could learn how to live virtuously, regardless of their social standing or external circumstances. And this philosophy spread like wildfire because it didn't just promise theoretical wisdom, it promised practical results, providing a roadmap for anyone who sought to understand themselves and the world better. The Stoics believed that, at its core, philosophy should be shared, not hidden behind closed doors. It was a public good meant to be accessible to all. This inclusive nature of Stoicism means that, throughout history, some of the most powerful people in the world, including emperors like Marcus Aurelius and statesmen like Seneca, embraced its teachings. But it wasn't just the elites. Many of the most profound Stoic thinkers like Epictetus started their lives as slaves, demonstrating that true wisdom is not bound by birthright or wealth. In a modern world increasingly obsessed with fame, wealth, and status, Stoicism reminds us that our true value lies not in what we have, but in how we live. It's not about what the world gives us, but how we respond to the world and how we shape our character in the process. One of the most revolutionary aspects of Stoicism was its stance on equality. At a time when social hierarchies were rigidly enforced, Stoics rejected the idea that wisdom and virtue should be limited to the elite. Instead, they championed the idea that all humans, regardless of their social status or birth, were capable of reaching the highest virtues. This radical equality was embodied in their philosophy, and one of the most powerful concepts that emerged from it was the idea of the cosmopolitan. The word cosmopolitan might evoke images of bustling, diverse cities like New York or London today, but its origins were far more profound. It literally means citizen of the world, and for the Stoics, it expressed the belief that we are all part of a greater whole, a universal community. This idea went far beyond mere tolerance. It called for unity and connection, irrespective of national boundaries, class divisions, or even gender. The Stoics believed that humanity was one, and they acted on that belief. They fought against the segregation and division that defined much of the ancient world. In fact, it was Stoics who first coined the term cosmopolitan, promoting the idea that our common humanity transcends the superficial differences between us. They believed that every person, from the humblest slave to the most powerful emperor, had the potential for virtue and wisdom. In today's world, where social divides remain prominent, Stoicism's inclusive philosophy still rings true. It reminds us that true virtue lies in our shared humanity, and that each of us, regardless of background, has the ability to contribute to the common good. The Stoics saw themselves not as isolated individuals but as part of a global community, bound together by the principles of reason, justice, and mutual respect. In an era when women were often excluded from intellectual pursuits, Stoicism stood in defiance of the prevailing norms. While the ancient world largely restricted women from participating in philosophy, the Stoics believed that both men and women had equal potential to cultivate virtue and wisdom. This progressive mindset was groundbreaking for its time, and it was exemplified by Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, who famously argued that women should be allowed to engage in philosophy just as much as men. Musonius Rufus didn't merely entertain this idea. He passionately defended it. He stated that virtue is not confined to one gender. Both men and women are equally capable of striving for noble deeds and pursuing wisdom. His words were revolutionary, challenging a society that had long relegated women to the sidelines of intellectual life. In his view, the desire to live virtuously and seek wisdom was universal, not limited by one's sex. While the philosophical world of Stoicism was undoubtedly dominated by male figures, women were not excluded from its teachings. Many women took part in Stoic discussions, learning the principles that would allow them to live lives of virtue, independence, and purpose. The Stoic belief in the inherent dignity and capability of all human beings extended to both men and women, making Stoicism one of the more progressive philosophical traditions of its time. This emphasis on gender equality in Stoicism is a stark contrast to the patriarchal norms that dominated ancient societies. Today, Stoicism continues to offer a powerful reminder that wisdom and virtue are not the exclusive domains of any one group. Instead, these qualities are available to everyone, regardless of gender or background. In a world where unexpected events can turn our lives upside down, Stoicism offers a way to navigate through the chaos without losing our inner peace. Why do so many people turn to Stoicism as a guiding philosophy? The answer lies in the Stoic principle of expectation. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond, and a key part of that is learning to expect the unexpected. Think about it. When rain starts to fall, most of us don't cry or become angry. Why? Because we have learned to expect it. We know that rain is an inevitable part of life, and though it may be inconvenient, it's not a catastrophe. We don't waste energy on something we cannot change. Instead, we accept it and move on. Stoicism teaches that this same mindset can be applied to all the challenges life throws our way. Rather than being shocked or devastated when things go wrong, we should expect that difficulties will come. The Stoics believe that by anticipating hardship, we prepare ourselves to face it with resilience, knowing that we are capable of handling whatever life throws at us. This shift in mindset doesn't mean we are immune to pain or suffering. Rather, it equips us to deal with it in a more balanced, measured way. By expecting misfortune, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil that comes with disappointment. It's not about dwelling on negativity or preparing for the worst in a pessimistic way. It's about acknowledging that challenges are a natural part of existence, and choosing to meet them with courage and composure. In this way, Stoicism provides a mental toolkit for surviving the inevitable hardships of life with grace. One of the most striking practices in Stoicism is the concept of voluntary discomfort. This is a practice designed to build resilience and gratitude by intentionally putting ourselves in situations that challenge our comfort and ease. Why would anyone willingly choose discomfort? The Stoics understood that by training ourselves to endure hardship, we can learn not only to survive adversity, but to thrive in it. Imagine sleeping on the cold floor, taking a cold shower when you usually enjoy a warm one, or eating the simplest of meals for days on end. These aren't just acts of deprivation. They are powerful exercises in developing the ability to endure life's hardships without being shaken. The Stoic idea behind these practices is simple. By experiencing discomfort voluntarily, we train ourselves to handle the discomforts we inevitably face in life. The power of this practice lies in its ability to transform our relationship with difficulty. Instead of viewing discomfort as something to avoid at all costs, we learn to accept it, even embrace it, as a natural part of existence. This mindset shift is key to developing the mental fortitude needed to face challenges with a calm, steady mind. In today's consumer-driven world, we are constantly encouraged to seek comfort and luxury. Advertisements bombard us with the message that we must have the latest gadgets, the most fashionable clothes, or the most expensive experiences to be happy. But Stoicism teaches us the opposite, that happiness doesn't lie in external possessions, but in our ability to find contentment, even in the absence of comfort. By practicing voluntary discomfort, we learn that our happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on our internal response to them. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that equate happiness with external achievements. Money, status, possessions, and recognition. These societal expectations shape the way we view success and fulfillment. However, Stoicism offers a radically different perspective. True happiness doesn't come from the things we acquire or the praise we receive, but from our ability to control our inner world. We grow up being told that success is measured by external markers: how much money we make, how popular we are, or how much we own. But what happens when these things are taken from us, or when we don't achieve them at all? The Stoics teach us that placing our happiness in external things sets us up for inevitable disappointment. Material wealth, popularity, and achievements are fleeting. They are never truly under our control, and they can be lost in an instant. Instead of chasing external validation, Stoicism encourages us to turn inward and focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. By understanding that happiness is not contingent on what we possess or how others perceive us, we liberate ourselves from the constant striving and the emptiness that often accompanies it. The key to contentment, according to Stoic thought, lies in aligning our lives with our internal values, not with the expectations of society. If we can detach ourselves from the need for external approval and instead find satisfaction in doing what is right and virtuous, we discover a deeper sense of fulfillment, one that is immune to the whims of fate or fortune. One of the fundamental principles of Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control, the idea that some things are within our control while others are not. This simple yet profound distinction helps us navigate the challenges of life with clarity and peace of mind. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control the world around us, we have absolute power over how we respond to it. This shift in focus is one of the most empowering aspects of Stoic practice. The dichotomy of control is a call to action. It urges us to focus our energy on the things we can influence: our thoughts, decisions, and actions, and to let go of the rest. For example, we can't control the weather, but we can control how we react to it. We can't control other people's behavior, but we can control our response to their actions. By focusing on our own behavior and internal state, we gain the strength to remain calm and composed, no matter what life throws our way. Many of us spend an inordinate amount of time and energy worrying about things outside our control. We fret about how others perceive us, the state of the economy, or the actions of people in positions of power. These concerns only drain us of our energy and peace. Stoicism teaches us that by recognizing the limits of our control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. The true power of this philosophy lies in its simplicity. By understanding what is within our control and what is not, we can direct our focus on what matters most. Living a life aligned with our values, making decisions based on reason, and accepting the things we cannot change with grace. In a world that constantly measures success by external outcomes, how many views, followers, or likes we get, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. True success is not found in the results we achieve, but in the effort we put forth. This mindset is liberating because it frees us from the anxiety of outcomes, which are often beyond our control. Take the example of working hard for a promotion at your job. You spend months preparing, improving your skills, and submitting excellent work, only to have your boss deny the promotion. In a society that places value on external rewards, it's easy to feel like a failure. But a Stoic would view this situation differently. Instead of measuring success by the promotion, they would judge their success by the effort they put into the work itself, the dedication, the persistence, and the quality of their actions. Stoicism teaches us that the process is more important than the outcome. We can control how much effort we put into our work, our relationships, and our personal growth. However, the outcome, the promotion, the recognition, the external reward, is often influenced by factors outside our control. By focusing on the process and embracing it fully, we take ownership of our success in a way that is not dependent on external validation. This perspective doesn't mean we shouldn't set goals or strive for success. It simply means that our value is not tied to what we achieve, but to how we approach the journey. It's a mindset that encourages personal growth and fulfillment, regardless of the external results. After all, a life well lived is a life dedicated to the pursuit of virtue, not the accumulation of achievements. At the heart of Stoic philosophy are four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. These virtues guide the Stoic in how to live a virtuous and meaningful life. Each one holds profound significance, and together they form the foundation of a Stoic's approach to life's challenges. Wisdom is the first and most important of the Stoic virtues. It involves the ability to discern between what is within our control and what is not, and to make decisions based on reason and understanding. Wisdom allows us to separate our internal world, the realm of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, from the external world, which is beyond our influence. With wisdom, we make decisions that align with our values, not based on emotions or fleeting desires. Courage is the second virtue, and it's not merely about physical bravery. Stoic courage is the inner strength to face life's hardships, fears, and uncertainties without allowing them to overwhelm us. It's about perseverance in the face of adversity and the courage to live according to our principles, even when doing so is difficult. It's the ability to persist and resist the temptation to give up when faced with challenges. Temperance is the third virtue, and it's often described as moderation. It involves self-control and the ability to resist the excesses and distractions that the world constantly throws at us. Temperance teaches us to live simply, to enjoy life's pleasures without becoming dependent on them. It's about finding balance and avoiding the extremes that can derail our personal growth. Justice, the final Stoic virtue, emphasizes fairness, compassion, and respect for others. It reminds us that we are all part of a greater whole, and our actions should be guided by a sense of responsibility to others. Stoics believe that we were all born for each other, and that our duty is to do good for others, not just ourselves. Justice is about acting in the interest of the common good, ensuring that we don't harm others, and always striving to contribute to a fairer, more equitable world. These four virtues form the bedrock of Stoic philosophy, providing a framework for navigating the complexities of life with integrity and purpose. When we practice these virtues, we not only improve ourselves but also contribute to the well-being of the world around us. While Stoicism's roots lie in ancient Greece and Rome, its principles have found resonance throughout history, inspiring some of the most remarkable figures in modern times. One such figure is Nelson Mandela, the iconic South African leader who spent 27 years in prison fighting against apartheid. Upon his release, Mandela was faced with the decision of how to move forward. Would he seek revenge against those who oppressed him and his people? Would he let anger and resentment guide his actions? Instead, Mandela turned to the teachings of Stoicism, particularly the works of Marcus Aurelius. During his time in prison, Mandela read the Stoic emperor's writings, finding solace and wisdom in the idea that our inner peace is not dictated by external circumstances, but by how we choose to respond to them. Despite the immense suffering he endured, Mandela emerged from prison not with a desire for vengeance, but with a call for reconciliation and unity. Mandela's decision to forgive those who had wronged him and to focus on rebuilding his country is a profound example of Stoic resilience. Like a true Stoic, he recognized that the past could not be changed, and that the only way forward was to focus on the present moment and the future. Instead of allowing anger to control him, he channeled his energy into creating a better world for all South Africans. His life exemplifies the Stoic principle of transforming adversity into opportunity, using hardship as a means to cultivate virtue and wisdom. Mandela's approach to leadership and forgiveness has left a lasting legacy, proving that Stoic principles can guide us not only through personal struggles but also in the pursuit of social justice. By embodying the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, he became a beacon of hope for people around the world, showing that true strength lies in our ability to forgive, to build, and to move forward with purpose. Stoicism, though ancient in origin, has had a lasting impact on modern psychology, influencing therapeutic approaches that help individuals navigate emotional challenges. Two of the most notable psychological therapies rooted in Stoic principles are rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and Logotherapy. These therapeutic models share much in common with Stoic philosophy, especially in their focus on how our thoughts shape our emotional responses and behaviors. Rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, developed by Albert Ellis, helps individuals identify and challenge irrational thoughts that lead to negative emotions and behaviors. The core idea of REBT is rooted in Stoic teachings, specifically the understanding that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we interpret and respond to them. In REBT, individuals are taught to recognize unhealthy thought patterns, question their validity, and replace them with more rational, balanced beliefs. This mirrors the Stoic practice of recognizing when our judgments are distorted by negative emotions and choosing to reframe them in a more constructive light. Logotherapy, developed by Viktor Frankl, is another therapy that draws heavily on Stoic principles. Frankl, who survived the horrors of a Nazi concentration camp, argued that meaning in life is essential for psychological well-being. He proposed that even in the most extreme suffering, we can find purpose through how we choose to respond. This resonates deeply with Stoicism, which teaches that while we cannot control the circumstances of our lives, we always have the power to choose how we react. Frankl's focus on finding meaning in suffering mirrors the Stoic belief that adversity can be a source of growth and wisdom. Both therapies emphasize the importance of internal control over external circumstances, teaching individuals how to live with purpose, resilience, and emotional balance. Stoicism's influence on modern psychology underscores the timeless relevance of its teachings, showing that the wisdom of the ancient philosophers can still help us manage our emotional lives today. One of the greatest challenges in adopting Stoicism is not merely understanding its principles, but putting them into practice. It's easy to read about the virtues of Stoicism, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, and think they sound like good ideals. But how do we transform these lofty ideas into real, everyday habits? The answer lies in reprogramming the way we think, step by step, and practicing Stoic exercises that help us build mental and emotional resilience. Rewiring our thinking isn't a quick fix. It's a process that requires consistent effort. The first step is becoming aware of our automatic reactions. How do we respond to challenges, setbacks, or discomfort? Do we immediately fall into frustration, anger, or despair? By becoming more mindful of our habitual reactions, we can begin to see where we're allowing negative emotions to take control. From there, we can make a conscious decision to choose a Stoic response instead. Stoic exercises, such as negative visualization, are key tools for this rewiring process. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenario: losing your job, a loved one becoming ill, facing a significant setback. While this might sound counterintuitive, the practice isn't about fostering pessimism. Instead, it's about preparing our minds to accept that bad things can and will happen, and that we have the power to face them with equanimity. By visualizing loss, we reduce the shock and emotional impact when it inevitably comes, allowing us to maintain clarity and calm in the face of adversity. Another powerful Stoic exercise is the practice of voluntary discomfort, which I discussed earlier. By deliberately seeking out small discomforts, like fasting or taking cold showers, we strengthen our mental toughness and grow more adaptable to life's unpredictable nature. This isn't about masochism. It's about conditioning ourselves to endure hardship with grace, so that when real difficulties arise, we are better equipped to handle them without being overwhelmed. As we practice these exercises, we start to build a mental framework that shifts our perspective. We stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable burdens and start seeing them as opportunities to practice virtue, whether that means exercising patience, demonstrating courage, or maintaining inner peace. In this way, Stoicism doesn't just change our thoughts. It changes our lives, transforming us from passive observers of fate to active participants in the cultivation of our own character. In the pursuit of happiness, it's easy to become distracted by the external world, chasing after material possessions, status, or the approval of others. Stoicism, however, offers a radically different approach. True happiness is not found in what we acquire or achieve, but in how we choose to live in alignment with our values and principles. The Stoics teach that happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on the way we respond to those circumstances. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoicism is the realization that we have control over our internal world, even if we can't control the external one. Life will inevitably throw challenges our way. Loss, failure, pain, and disappointment are all part of the human experience. But we have the power to choose how we respond to these events. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our reactions, and our decisions, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. This shift in focus is crucial. Instead of obsessing over things we can't change, such as the weather, other people's actions, or the state of the world, Stoicism encourages us to channel our energy into what we can influence, our own mindset and behavior. It's a practice of emotional resilience, accepting that misfortune will come, but also accepting that we have the power to choose our response, no matter how difficult the situation may be. Ultimately, the key to happiness, according to Stoic thought, lies in accepting the impermanence of life and focusing on living virtuously. By cultivating wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice in our daily lives, we align ourselves with what truly matters: our character, our relationships, and our ability to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes not from external rewards, but from living with purpose, integrity, and emotional balance. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the acceptance of life's impermanence. The Stoics remind us that nothing lasts forever, neither our successes nor our struggles, neither our joys nor our sorrows. Everything has an end. But far from being a depressing thought, this awareness can be incredibly freeing. It encourages us to live fully in the present, to embrace each moment with gratitude, and to focus on living a life of virtue. The Stoics believe that when our time comes, we should be able to face death with the same calm and composure that we face life's challenges. For them, death wasn't something to fear or resist. Instead, it was simply a natural part of the cycle of life, one that we should accept with dignity and peace. By living with the understanding that our time is finite, we are motivated to make the most of the time we do have, by cultivating our inner character, nurturing our relationships, and living in alignment with our values. Even when faced with the greatest of losses, the Stoics encourage us to remember that we have lived well, and that is what truly matters. The external world may take away our possessions, our status, and even our health, but our inner peace and the virtue we've cultivated are ours to keep. As the Stoics taught, it is not the length of life that matters, but the quality of how we live it. Ultimately, Stoicism gives us the tools to navigate life's inevitable challenges with resilience and grace. Whether we are facing hardship, loss, or the unknown, we can find peace in the knowledge that we have the power to choose our responses. We can live with virtue, and when the time comes, we can face our end with peace, knowing that we have lived a good life. If you found this video valuable, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know which Stoic principle you're going to focus on first. And hey, if you know someone who could use a little more Stoic wisdom in their life, don't forget to share this video with them. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe for more videos that'll help you live a stronger, calmer, and more focused life. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, life's gonna throw some curveballs, but with the right mindset, you've got this.